Alright, hello everyone. Good day. Ang topic natin ngayon under ng psychometrics, pag-uusapan natin percentile rank and the stay 9 system. Before this, basa muna ako ng passage. I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times things not yet done. I will accomplish my purpose. Galing yan sa Isaiah 46, 9-10. Connected yan sa percentile rank and stay 9 system. Now, for those of you who forgot anong itsura ng norm, kasi itong topic ko na to, under pa rin to ng norm, no? Ito ang itsura ng norm. Usually, it's a table, 2 columns. Sa unang column, nandoon yung mga range of scores. And then, in the right column, the interpretations of those scores. Anong ibig sabihin? Anong tawag sa'yo? Anong label ang ibibigay sa'yo if you fall under 90 to 109? So kapag kumuha ka nung test, ang score mo 90 to 109, ang tawag sa'yo, ikaw si boy average. Kapag ang score mo 120 to 129, ang tawag sa'yo, ikaw si girl superior. Got that? Yan yung itsura ng norm. And usually this norm is found in the last pages of a test manual. Usually 3 to 4 pages. Nandyan ang table of norm. Maliwanag. So ano ang function ng norm? As I have demonstrated, norms help us interpret the scores, which leads us to do psychological assessment na napakahalaga in psychometrics. For those of you who forgot anong ibig sabihin ng psychological assessment, nagkakaroon ng ibig sabihin yung score. Therefore, nalalaman natin kung ano ang dapat gawin, ano ang dapat i-recommend natin sa clients natin to help them have a better psychological life. Like for example, given a raw score, kapag ginamitan natin ng norm na interpret natin yung raw score, now we know that this client is depressed. So alam natin gagawin sa client na to. Kailangan niya ng therapy. Tuturuan siya ng mga psychological skills on how to handle depression, such as paano niya i-handle yung irrational beliefs niya. Sabi ni Albert Ellis. So, you review your theories of personality. Dahil may norm, nalaman natin na itong taong to, meron siyang PTSD. Pasok na pasok yung symptoms niya sa clinical notes natin if you compare it to the list of the DSM-5. So, bibigyan ngayon natin siya ng treatment kung paano ma-handle yung PTSD. Because of the raw score na nagkaroon ng label via the norm, alam natin na itong estudyanteng to is having a difficult time adjusting in school. So, pwede natin siyang assignan ng mentor or ng study buddy para matulungan siya kung paano makapag-adjust sa school. 'Di ba? So, lahat yan, nabigyan natin ng intervention yung mga clients na to for them to have a better psychological life. But what enabled us to do that? Kasi nagkaroon tayo ng psychological assessment. But what made psychological assessment possible? Because the norm helped us interpret, give meaning, label the raw score. Maliwanag. So yun ang kahalagahan ng norm and how it contributes to psychological assessment. In my previous lectures, I already discussed some of the ways on how to create norms. Kasi, kung maaalala ninyo, sinabi ko, itong mga tables na to, itong table of norm, ginagawa yan. Hindi yan basta-basta lumalabas na lang, no? The test authors have to exert effort on how to create the table of norms. And there are many ways how to create a table of norm, such as the following. In my previous lectures, I already discussed numbers 1 and 2, measure of central tendency and frequency distribution. Kayo na lang bahala mag-review. In this lecture, ang focus natin, percentile rank and the stay 9 system. Paano natin ginagawa itong dalawang to? Para makakreate tayo ng table of norm that can help us interpret raw scores. Unahin natin yung percentile rank. Ano ang pinaka-information na binibigay sa atin ng percentile rank? Well, according to Anastasia and Urbina, percentile rank refers to the number of the testing population that you outscored. Wherever you are, I would like you to say the word outscored. Ready? Go! Sa Tagalog, ang outscore, tinalo mo, nataasan mo, tinalbugan mo, ano pa, natalo mo, ito yung number of tao, number of people na mas magaling ka. Kinabog mo. Pinataob mo. Grabe yung mga words, no? But you get what I mean. So, how many percent of the testing population yung under sa score mo, that refers to your percentile rank. So, if you're gonna visually represent this, ito yung itsura. Kung ito yung score mo, computein mo yung percentage ng mga scores na to, given the number of people who took the test, including you, kunin mo yung porsyento niyan, that will be your percentile rank. So, given this logic, mas mataas ang equivalent percentile rank ng isang raw score, the better you perform in comparison to the population. So, dapat matuwa ka kung mas mataas yung percentile rank mo. Mas mababa ang percentile rank mo, ibig sabihin, hindi ganun kataas yung performance mo in comparison to the population. Let me give you some examples para mas luminaw ang kahulugan ng percentile rank. We have a hypothetical test here, ang pangalan Intelligence Test X. Let's say, ang raw score mo sa test na yan, 77 over 100, and there are 50 people who took the test. Ilan? 50. And then, sabi ng computation, the raw score of 77 over 100, ang equivalent percentile daw niya is 85th. So, what does it mean when you get an 85th percentile at ang raw score mo is 77? Ang ibig sabihin lang yan, ito yung computation ng percentile rank, no? You were able to outscore 85% of the 50 who took this test. So, ang tanong, ilan ang nataasan mo? Edi computein mo. 85%, 0.85 times 50 gives you 42.5. I-round up mo na lang sa 43. Anong ibig sabihin ng 43 na yan? It means, out of 50 people, 43 yung nataasan mo. So, kung i-visually represent mo yan, ilan yung tao dyan, yung nataasan mo, lahat ng nasa yellow nataasan mo. Got that? Ibig sabihin, nandoon ka sa top 7 of the population. Pasok ka sa top 10. Ikaw yung rank number 7 in terms of pinakamataas na scores. Another example, hypothetical intelligence test. Ang score mo, 77 over 100, but this time, ang equivalent percentile niya is 99. Ang kumuha nung test 100. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Same computation, 99%, i-times mo yan sa 100 kasi yan yung kumuha nung test, total number of people who took the test, so that gives you 99. So, anong ibig sabihin ng 99 na yan? Yan yung number of people you were able to outscore. So, to visually represent that, ito na naman ang ibig sabihin yan. Ilan dyan yung na-outscorean mo yung 99? Sino ngayon yung top 1? Ikaw yung top 1. So, having a percentile rank of 99 means you were able to top. You were able to outscore the entire population who took the test. Got that? Yan yung ibig sabihin ng percentile rank. Now, let me just give you an example, some other examples of 99th percentile in everyday life para mas maging malinaw sa inyo anong kahulugan kapag ang score mo 99th percentile. Parang nanalo ka ng MVP. Sa isang liga, maraming players, ikaw yung napiling MVP. Anong ibig sabihin ng M? Most. Ibig sabihin ng most, ikaw yung pinakamagaling, pinaka-valuable sa lahat ng players na naglalaro sa liga. Ikaw yung 99th percentile of all the players who play in the league. Ganun din sa mga artists. When we talk about Oscars or Grammys, maraming mga nominees yan. Ngayon, kapag ikaw ang tinawag, pumunta ka sa stage, hinawakan mo yung trophy, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ikaw yung 99th percentile compared to all the nominees. Ikaw yung pinakamagaling. Ikaw yung nanalo, ikaw yung top 1. Sa educational institutions, mahalaga rin yung percentile rank na yan, no? Kapag sinabi mo na ang university na to, yung top, siya yung pinakamaganda kumpara sa iba't ibang mga universities in a certain place, 99th percentile ka of all the universities. Like for instance, yung kakalabas lang na balita, UP Diliman is the top Philippine university. So, i-translate mo yan sa psychometrics, ang UP Diliman, 99th percentile siya when it comes to quality of education. Pero kung pag-uusapan ay program, sabi ng EduRank, ang psychology daw sa Lasal, Ehem. Ang nangunguna na psychology program over all the other universities in the Philippines. So, ibig sabihin, yung psych department ng Lasal, 99th percentile ng iba't ibang mga psychology department sa iba't ibang mga universities and colleges. Ang sasabihin ko na lang dyan, ehem. Alright? World rankings ng university. Sino ang 99th percentile na university sa buong mundo? I did a little research on this. I-zoom in natin. University of Oxford daw. Sila ang 99th percentile ng mga university sa buong mundo. Followed by Stanford, MIT, Harvard, and the University of Cambridge. Because this channel believes in the spiritual world, meron ding ibig sabihin ang 99th percentile in the spiritual world. Like for example, sino ang pinakamakapangyarihang Elohim? Hebrew word for God. Believe it or not, marami kasing gods. Pero iisa lang ang God na dapat na sinasamba. Iisa lang ang God na pinakamakapangyarihan compared to all the other lesser gods. Like for instance, that was the claim of Yahweh, the God of the Bible, in Isaiah. I am God and there is no other. So when you say a statement like that, no other, ibig sabihin, ikaw ang 99th percentile over all spiritual beings. He continues, I am God, and there is none like me. Another 99th percentile statement. There is no other, there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning, bakit siya 99th percentile? May reason. Yun yung sinabi dito. Kasi, of all the gods, si Yahweh lang ang si Yahweh lang ang nakagawa ng time. He transcends time. Siya yung walang beginning, siya yung walang end. And that means, the lesser gods, the idols, meron silang beginning, meron silang end. In fact, if you read the book of Revelations, you will realize na ang Judgment Day, which is the end of everything, hindi lang yan nag-a-apply sa mga tao, pero i-judge din, may ending din ang mga spiritual beings who are in rebellion against Yahweh. Yan yung reason. Bakit siya 99th percentile? In another passage, same book, Isaiah, God said, To whom then will you compare me that I should be like him? Again, that statement reflects 99th percentile. At nagbigay na naman ng patunay dito o ng justification dito, bakit siya 99th percentile? Lift up your eyes on high and see who created this. So 99th percentile siya, it has something to do with creation. To be more specific, may pagka-scientific na to, no? Recent developments in astronomy, naglabas na ng image ang James Webb Telescope. One of the most powerful telescopes ever built to study the outer space. And this is one of the most recent images na nilabas. Bawat isang period dyan, bawat isang maliwanag na dot dyan, it's an entire galaxy. And one galaxy consists of at least 1 billion stars. In fact, this is a more enhanced version of that image, as you can see. Got that? Now, the thing is, paano mo i-connect yung pagka 99th percentile ni Yahweh? 99th percentile siya kasi if you compare Yahweh to all the gods, if you compare Yahweh to all human beings, if you compare Yahweh to all the animals, it is only Yahweh, the God of the Bible, who can create a universe like this. Hindi kayang gawin niya ng lesser gods. Hindi kaya gawin niya ng tao. The best we could do is to look at the creation of God. Lalong-lalo na hindi kaya yan ng chihuahua. Hindi kaya ito ng poodle. Hindi kaya gawin ito ng isang orangutan. So why is Yahweh the 99th percentile? Because it is only Yahweh who has the power to create such great things. In fact, hindi lang sa astronomy, no? Even deep within our bodies. If you look at our cells, i-zoom in mo yung cell natin millions of times, one cell is like a BC metropolis, according to biologists. Ang dami-dami palang mga parts ng cells that are interconnected with each other that makes life possible. Yan. And this is something that Charles Darwin did not know when he was alive. Kaya ako naniniwala, if Charles Darwin was alive today and he reads this findings from modern biology, he would be changing his mind to believe that everything is just an accident. Kasi imposible na yung ganyang complexity, aksidente. Got that? Kaya, again, no matter how hard human beings try to replicate what God can do, they keep on failing. We keep on failing. Very active area of research yan. May mga group of scientists talagang ginagawa nila yung best nila to replicate, building a human cell from scratch. They can't do it. Kahit anong attempt nila, hindi nila magaya yung template of God's creation. Kaya, again, going back to that passage, compared to other gods, compared to other humans, compared to other animals, it is Yahweh who is the 99th percentile because He is the only one who can create such things. Maliwanag. So, yun ang 99th percentile in the spiritual world. That's why, going back to percentile rank, you cannot have a percentile rank of 100. Kasi ibig sabihin yan, pag ang percentile rank mo 100, nataasan mo pati ang sarili mo. Ganun ka kagaling. Which is logically not possible. Kasi nga, kasama ka sa computation ng population who took the test. So, you cannot outscore yourself. So, the highest percentile rank you can get is 99. Nataasan mo yung 99% of the population, yung top 1%, nandoon ka. Got that? Ngayon, if you read textbooks on percentile rank, merong formula dyan na ginagamit to convert raw score to percentile rank. This is the formula. Nandito ang legend. Anong ibig sabihin ng B, ng E, ng N? Yan yon. So, if you want to compare or to convert a raw score to percentile rank, this is the formula that you use. Buti na lang, God loves us na meron siyang in-inspired na grupo ng mga tao na nakaimbento ng Jamovi. Nakaimbento ng mga statistical softwares that we don't have to compute percentile ranks manually. Okay, so itong mga softwares na to, kaya nang computein yung equivalent percentile rank ng isang raw score in less than 1 second. Isang click mo lang, boom! Raw score can be translated to or can be converted to percentile rank such as this. Alright? So kapag nag-run ka ng software, ito yung formula na gagamitin niya, kayang-kaya niya computein yan in less than 1 second, nako-convert na niya ang raw score sa isang percentile rank. Pero syempre dapat, in-encode mo sa program yung lahat ng raw scores in a testing population para magawa yan. Alright? So, buti na lang, Jamovi and all other stat softwares were invented. So, ano ngayon ang interpretation ng percentiles? Ano, 'di ba? Halimbawa, may raw score ka, na-convert mo na sa percentile rank. Ano ngayon? Anong ibig sabihin kung 56th percentile ka? Anong ibig sabihin kung 18th percentile ka or 25th percentile ka? Fix na yung ibig sabihin yan. So, ibig sabihin, if a raw score falls within a range of percentiles, yung range of percentiles na yon, meron na kaagad ibig sabihin yon. Bakit? Kasi, yung percentiles, focus here, i-zoom in natin, yung percentiles dito, it's already connected to the normal curve. Which means, by knowing the equivalent percentile of a score, malolocate mo na kung nasaan sa normal curve yung raw score na yon. And if you review my previous lectures, sinabi ko na yung kahulugan ng isang raw score, depende yan kung saang parte siya ng normal curve bumabagsak. And percentile ranks help you identify nasaan ang isang raw score sa normal curve. Nagigets ninyo? Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, going back, no, yung range of percentile where a raw score falls into, fix na yung label niyan. Kapag ang raw score bumagsak sa 51 to 85th percentile, average yan. How do we know? Kasi yung 51 to 85th percentile nandito sa gitna, somewhere. Lahat ng scores na babagsak dito, ibig sabihin, average. Kapag ang score mo bumagsak ng 86 to 95th percentile, ang tawag sa'yo, boy, high average. Kasi yung 86 to 95th percentile, somewhere nandito yan. Yan. Ito yung component or ang tawag dito, ito yung area after the average. Got that? By knowing the percentile equivalent of a raw score, alam mo na kung nasaang location ng normal curve, makikita yung raw score na yan. But then again, let me emphasize, no, bago mo magamit ang percentile rank as a means to interpret scores, dapat yung pinanggalingan ng percentile table mo is normally shaped. Pag nangolekta ka ng raw score, isa sa mga dapat una mong alamin, normal ba yung shape niya? Hindi dapat siya skewed to the left or skewed to the right. Normally distributed dapat yung raw scores. And how would you know? Again, SPSS, Statistica or Jamovi, meron silang test of normality. Kaya ka magsha-Shapiro-Wilk para malaman mo kung yung distribution ba ng scores mo is normally distributed. Because that's the only time that you can create a norm table like this. Kapag normally distributed yung raw scores na nakuha mo. Kapag hindi mo pwedeng gamitin to. You have to find other ways on how to make your distribution more normal. Got that? So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng percentile rank. Now, let's move on to the Stay9 system. Ang Stay9 system naman, kino-convert natin yung raw score from numbers 1 to 9. Wherein, 1 is the lowest and 9 is the highest. So, sa Stay9 system, kapag i-convert mo ang raw score, sa Stay9, 1 to 9 yung value na i-assign mo. At ano na naman ibig sabihin ng 1 to 9? 9 the highest, 1 to lowest. Pag-usapan natin kung paano ini-interpret yan, no? But in using this system, kailangan memorize mo yung tinatawag nating Stay9 table as what you can see here on the screen. Ang tawag dyan, Stay9 table. As you can see here, ito yung Stay9's 1 hanggang 9. And under each of these numbers, merong porsyento. So yung 1, which is Stay9 1, 4%. Stay9 2, 7%. Stay9 3, 12%. I highly recommend for those of you who will be taking the board exams, no, i-memorize nyo yan. 4, 7, 12, 17, 20, 17, 12, 7, 4. Magbabaliktad lang naman yan towards the end. Alright? So, i-memorize nyo yan. Anong percent under ang, or ilang percent meron ang 1, ilang percent meron ang 5, ilang percent meron ang 7. Tanong, bakit kinakailangan memorize ito at ano ang silbi nito in converting scores into Stay9? Let me demonstrate. Halimbawa, ito yung raw scores mo. Namigay ka ng isang test sa isang population, ito yung mga scores nila at gagamit ka ng Stay9 system to interpret the raw scores. Ang gagawin mo ngayon dyan is, first, i-organize mo from highest to lowest yung mga raw scores. As you can see, that's exactly what was done here. From 97, highest, 50, lowest. Mahalaga yan. Bakit? Kasi kapag na-organize mo yan from highest to lowest, gagamitin mo na yung Stay9 table. You would like to identify which scores fall into Stay9 1. And how do you do that? 48 times 0.04. Saan galing ang 48? Ito kasi yung number of scores na makikita nyo dito. Bilangin nyo to, 48 yan. Doon nakuha ang 48. And then, imumultiply mo yan sa 0.04. Saan ang galing yung 0.04? Balikan mo yung Stay9 table kasi yung Stay9 1, ang ilalim niyan, 4%. So, 48 times 0.04, naging 1.92, i-round up mo na lang sa 2. Ano ngayon ang ibig sabihin ng 2 na yan? Ibig sabihin yan, ang unang dalawang score sa baba ng population, yun yung Stay9 1. So, ang range ng score mo, 0 to 51 is Stay9 1. Got that? Ganon din sa Stay9 2. Ano ngayon yung mga scores na babagsak under Stay9 2? The same computation. So, ang gagawin mo dyan is 48 times 0.07. Saan ang galing ang 48? Number of scores, 0.07, 7% under ng Stay9 2. So, kapag compute mo yan, ang lalabas 3.3. I-round down mo na lang sa 3. Anong ibig sabihin yan? The next 3 scores after Stay9 1 will be Stay9 2. So, ano yung mga scores under Stay9 2 mula 52 hanggang 54? Kapag ang raw score babagsak dyan sa range na yan, 52 to 54, Stay9 2 yan. Ituloy na natin hanggang Stay9 3, same computation, 48 times 0.12. 48, number of cases, number of raw scores, 0.12, 12% kasi ang nasa ilalim ng Stay9 3. Kaya sabi ko, dapat memorize nyo to. So, that gives you 5.7. I-round up nyo na lang sa 6. Ano mangyayari? Next 6 scores after Stay9 2 will be Stay9 3. Ano yung mga scores na yon? 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So kapag ang raw score bumagsak sa range na yan mula 55 hanggang 60, stay 9-3 yan. Hanggang sa makompleto nyo sa stay 9-9. Maliwanag. So same question. Kapag na-convert mo na yung raw score sa isang stay 9, ano ngayon ang silbi niyan? Fix na naman ang ibig sabihin yan. So usually, ang mga scores that fall under stay 9-1, ang tawag sa kanila mga low average. Ang mga scores na bumagsak under stay 9s 4 and 5, average. Kapag bumagsak sa 8 and 9, mga excellent. Nanggigets ninyo? Tanong, saan nanggaling yung mga labels na yan? Bakit natin nalaman na low average to? Above average yan or excellent yon, kasi ang stay 9 nakakabit na naman yan sa normal curve. By knowing what stay 9 a raw score is, malolocate mo na naman nasaan sa normal curve yung score na yon. So stay 9, just like percentile rank, helps you locate where the score is in the normal curve. Maliwanag. Kaya yan yung yan yung ibig sabihin yan. Doon nila nakita o doon nila nakuha kung anong label ang ibibigay sa different stay 9s. But then again, let me emphasize, magagamit mo lang yung system na yan kapag napatunayan mo na yung distribution ng scores mo going back, kapag ito plinat mo sa normal curve, ang shape niya is normally distributed. Kailangan mo na naman mag-test of normality dyan, such as Shapiro-Wilk. Kapag sinabi ng Shapiro-Wilk na ang scores mo normally distributed, pwede mo nang gamitin tong system na to, etong norm na to interpret future raw scores. Meron pang isang alternative other than stay 9, which is more frequently used in test development. Ito yung STEN system. Ang STEN, it's a compound word, standard 10. Nalimutan ko pala sabihin, ang stay 9 ganun din. Compound word yon, kaya siya stay 9, standard 9. Because you are dividing the raw scores into 9 groups. Ang STEN naman, same principle, it's just that you divide the scores into 10 groups. Ano ang advantage ng 10 instead of 9? Ang 10 kasi, mas understandable, mas madaling i-visualize in our everyday conversation. Di ba pag nag-uusap tayo ng, let's say, mga attributes ng tao, mga katangian ng tao, we always estimate those in a scale of 1 to 10. Gaano kapogi ang boyfriend niya in a scale of 1 to 10? Gaano siya kabait in a scale of 1 to 10? Gaano siya kasalbahe in a scale of 1 to 10? So, madaling intindihin yung 1 to 10 kumpara sa in a scale of 1 to 9. Parang masyado ka namang specific kapag 1 to 9 lang, so gawin mo ng 1 to 10. Got that? So, yun yung advantage ng STEN system, mas madali siyang i-visualize. Pero ang mag-iiba ngayon sa STEN system, kung ito yung gagamitin mo for norm for norm table, mag-iiba yung porsyento, syempre. Under stay 9-1, 2%. Under stay 9-2, 4%. Under stay 9-3, 9%. Ikumpara mo sa stay 9. Diba? Pag stay 9, ang 1 niya, 4%. Ang 2 niya, 7%. Kapag STEN, iba. Mas liliit, syempre, kasi meron kang panibagong group para maging 10 groups eh. 2, 4, 9, 15, 20, 20, 15, 9, 4, and 2. Again, I highly recommend i-memorize nyo yan. So, memorize nyo dapat ang stay 9 table, memorize nyo rin ang STEN table. Got that? Pero yung computation yan, ganun din. Parang ganyan din. Number of cases, ang mag-iiba lang, ito, yung percentage. Kasi nga, liliit na sa STEN system para ma-accommodate yung isa pang extra group from 9 naging 10. Ang isang test na gumagamit ng STEN system yung 16PF. Oh, by the way, sorry, before that pala, no? So, again, just like the stay 9, ang STEN can help you locate where the score is in the normal curve. Alright? So, ito yung STEN score. Pag alam ko kung nasa ang STEN ang isang raw score, kayang-kaya ko i-locate nasa anong raw score na yan sa normal curve, enabling me to interpret what the raw score means. Below average, average, above average, well above average. STEN can also, just like stay 9, help you locate a raw score in the normal curve. Maliwanag. So as I was saying a while ago, ang 16PF is an example of a test, no, where STEN is being used. Yun nga, tingnan nyo yung sistema ng 16PF, meron siyang isang label, warm, pero ginawa niyang dichotomy. In a scale of 1 to 10, gaano ka ka-warm? 10 the highest, ibig sabihin, pag yung score mo closer to 10, warm ka. But as your score moves away from 10, nagiging mas ano ka, reserved. Oh. They also measured how abstract a person is in a scale of 1 to 10. So the closer your score is to 10, mas abstract ka. The farther away your score is from 10, mas concrete ka. So on and so forth. Pero yung ganyang sistema ng 16PF, clearly, it's using the STEN system. Maliwanag? So yan ang pinagkaiba ng percentile rank and STAY-9. Although magkaiba sila, pareho sila ng goal. It is to give meaning, give label, interpret the raw scores. Kung meron kayong mga questions or comments, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa baba. Sana nakatulong tong maikling lecture na to. Sir Howard here. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.